Hi guys, now whether you agree with Keir Starmer or not, whether you agree with his political party is irrelevant when it comes to him as an MP. Now on Thursday morning I uploaded a video where Starmer the day before laid into Boris Johnson during the back and forth at Prime Minister's questions. The Labour leader made a number of statements about Johnson and things that he said both in the chamber on Tuesday and behind closed doors with his backbenchers. Now, Starmer, unlike Prime Minister Boris Johnson, is willing to retract a statement and correct the record. This is just a reminder of what he said.
He even said that the Archbishop of Canterbury had not been critical enough of Putin. In fact, the Archbishop called Putin's war an act of great evil, and the Church of England has led the way in providing refuge to those fleeing. Would the Prime Minister like to take this opportunity to apologise for slandering the Archbishop and the Church of England?
And then Starmer said this about the BBC.
They were all there. The Prime Minister also accused the BBC of not being critical enough of Putin. Would the Prime Minister have the guts to say that to the face of Clive Myrie, Lise Doucet and Steve Rosenberg, who have all risked their lives day in, day out on the front line in Russia and Ukraine, uncovering Putin's barbarism?
Now, Starmer, on Thursday, there was a debate in the House of Commons on whether Boris Johnson, whether a committee should be set up to investigate whether Boris Johnson lied to Parliament. Yes, such... we have to laugh about this, the idea that, yeah, you need to find out if Boris Johnson lied to Parliament. He lies to Parliament every time he turns up. But Starmer was challenged on this, on whether he would retract the statement that he made yesterday, on Wednesday. The video was uploaded on Thursday. And, well, this is what he said on Thursday.
The Prime Minister's comments on Tuesday night to his backbenchers were briefed to journalists by his spokesperson. Those comments were reasonably interpreted by several media outlets, including the Daily Telegraph, as being criticisms of the Archbishop of Canterbury and the BBC for their comments and coverage of Ukraine. Government ministers were out on broadcast rounds yesterday morning and they didn't seek to correct that interpretation. But, Mr Speaker, since then, the government has corrected the record and said the Prime Minister's comments only referred to the Archbishop and not the BBC. So I'm more than happy to echo that correction and withdraw my comments of yesterday. Thank you.
Well, that draws a line under that.
Well, not for the Tories, it will not draw a line under that. But see the difference here between... And you don't have to like Keir Starmer. I have my problems with him, but... This is what an MP is supposed to do. This is what a leader is supposed to do. This is what a Prime Minister is supposed to do. To correct the record. If they made a mistake, take it back. Make sure that it's corrected. Boris Johnson never does this. Why does Boris Johnson never come back to Parliament and to correct the record? Because he understands the power of lies. He understands that he can say what he likes and his friends in the media and his friends in the House of Commons will cheer him on. And he knows that Parliament is weak. Parliament is toothless. It can't do anything to hold him to account. Boris Johnson has pretty much an 80-seat majority. So he knows that he can get away with pretty much anything. And even if there are rebellions within his party, they're not enough to bring him down. I've said this before. The only way... Look, people seem to think that it's the job of the opposition to hold Boris Johnson to account. Yes, technically that's true. But they can't because they don't have the numbers. The only people who could bring Boris Johnson down are his own MPs. And if you have an MP, a Tory MP in your constituency, write to them. A letter, 100 letters to an MP is more powerful than any march, any protest. Unfortunately, that's the case. I'm not against protesting or marching. It serves a purpose, of course. It gets a message out. But when it comes to pressuring the Prime Minister, particularly this one, Boris Johnson, Letters to MPs and his MPs turning on him are the only way to force him out. Once again, I have to say, Keir Starmer is showing leadership here, showing decency. He's an honourable member of Parliament, unlike so many others. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.